Google has just launched a brand new AI model, and it's tiny, super fast, and so efficient that you can run it on your phone without worrying about your battery dying. This is the new Gemma 3270M, the smallest model in the Gemma family, but don't let the size fool you. It's smart, powerful, and ready for some really cool uses. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you in simple terms so you know exactly what's new and why it matters. Alright, before we dive into all the technical stuff, let me quickly tell you what this Gemma 3 270M actually is. Okay, Google officially released it on August 14, 2025 as part of their Gemma 3 model family. Now this family has different sizes: 270 million, 1 billion, 4 billion, 12 billion, and 27 billion parameters. Think of parameters like brain cells of an AI. More parameters usually mean a bigger brain, but also more power needed to run it. The 270 million version is the smallest one in the family, which makes it super light and fast. This version is text only, meaning it works only with words. It can't process images or other media. Google designed it for low cost, fast, and private tasks. So, if you need something that can run directly on your laptop or even on a phone without using tons of cloud power, this is perfect. You can already find and try it in multiple places like Google's Vertex, AI Model Garden, Hugging Face, Ollama, and other platforms. So whether you are a developer, hobbyist, or just curious, it's very easy to get your hands on it and start experimenting. Okay, now let's talk about what's actually inside Gemma 3 270. First, the name itself tells you a lot. 270 means it has 270 million parameters. You can think of parameters as the little switches inside an AI's brain that help it learn and respond. Out of these, about 170 million are used just for understanding and storing words, and the remaining 100 million are used for processing and reasoning. Next is the context window. This is basically means how much text the model can read, remember, and use at one time. The 270 million version can handle 32,000 tokens. Tokens are just chunks of words. For example, a whole sentence might be 10 to 15 tokens. The bigger Gemma model can handle 128,000 tokens, but 32K is still plenty for most tasks. This model understands over 140 languages, so it's not just for English. You can use it in Hindi, Spanish, French, and many more. And the important point is that it's text only. So unlike some bigger AI models, it can't process pictures, videos, or audio. It works purely with words. Another cool thing is how it was trained. Even though it's small, Google fed it a massive amount of data, around 6 trillion tokens during training. That's like giving it a huge library to learn from, which is why it can still perform really well. And here is why it's so good for phones and small devices. It doesn't need much memory to run. In its normal form, it takes about 400 MB of memory. And if you use spatial compression called 4-bit quantization, it can go down to just 240 MB. That's tiny for an AI model, which is why it can run on devices like laptops, Raspberry Pi, or even smartphones without burning your battery. Now let's talk about why this tiny model is actually a big deal in the real world. Google has made the Gemma 3 270M super efficient by using something called INT4 quantization. I know that sounds technical, but here is the simple version. It's like shrinking the model's brain data into a smaller, lighter form without making it forget how to think. This means it needs less power, less memory, and can run on small devices really well. In Google's own test, they ran this model on a Pixel 9 Pro smartphone and had 25 different conversations with it. And you know how much battery it used? Just 0.75%. That's less than 1% for all those chats, which is crazy efficient for an AI model. Because it's so light, it also starts up faster and responds quicker than big AI models. You don't have to wait for it to warm up. It's ready almost instantly. Now, if you're someone who likes to customize things or build your own AI projects, Gemma 3 270M is very developer friendly. Google has released it in two ready to use forms: pre-trained and instruction tuned. The pre-trained version is like a blank but knowledgeable brain. It knows a lot, but you have to guide it. The instruction tuned version has already been trained to follow your instructions more naturally, so it's ready for tasks right out of the box. If you want to fine tune it, which means adjusting it for your specific needs, you can do that on popular platforms like Hugging Face, Unsolved, or JAX. And when it comes to actually running the model, that's called interface. It works with a bunch of tools: llama.cpp, gemma.cpp, lightrd, MLX, and more. These are just lightweight programs that help the model run on different devices efficiently. So now let's talk about how does this 270M version compare to the other Gemma models. Let's break it down. So in the Gemma 3 family, there are bigger versions like 1 billion, 4 billion, 12 billion, and 27 billion. Those numbers mean they have way more parameters, so they are more powerful. But they also need a lot more memory, processing power, and energy to run. The 270M is the smallest, which makes it much lighter and faster. Another big difference is this is the only text-only model in the lineup. All the bigger ones are multimodal, meaning they can handle not just text but also images and maybe other types of data. So, if you need something for both pictures and text, you would pick a bigger model. But if you just need text tasks, 270M is more than enough. It also has a smallest context window, 32K tokens compared to 128,000 in the bigger ones. That means it can't remember as much in one go, but for most everyday tasks, 32K is still plenty. Now let's see what people in the tech and AI community are saying about Gemma 3 270M. On Hacker News, a lot of users are impressed by how small this model is. One person even said it's small enough to fit almost anywhere and easy to fine tune, which basically means you can run it on all kinds of devices and still customize it for your own needs without much hassle. On Reddit, people were surprised that even though this is the smallest Gemma model, Google still trained it with a huge amount of data, around 6 trillion tokens. That's the kind of training you would expect for much bigger models. So it explains why 270 million still performs well despite its size. Overall, the general feeling from the community is very positive, especially when it comes to its battery efficiency and low computing needs. People like the fact that it can run locally, save power, and still handle many practical tasks without relying on big cloud servers. So, to wrap it up, I think Gemma 3270M is a big deal, especially for on device AI. Usually, AI models are huge and need powerful cloud servers to run, but this one is small enough to live right on your phone, laptop, or even tiny devices. What I really like is that Google isn't just chasing bigger and bigger models, they're also focusing on efficiency. And in the future, I think we will see more AI tools that are not only smart but also light, fast, and battery friendly, just like this one. And that's everything you need to know about the new Gemma 3270M. Small size but with huge potential. I'm really curious. Would you use this on your phone, your laptop, or maybe even on a tiny device? Tell me in the comments. I would love to hear your ideas. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to give this video a like, share it with your friends who love tech, and subscribe so you don't miss more AI updates like this one.